I'm going to describe the growth and destruction of terrorist groups in Pakistan. To start out, I'll first inform you of a few of the terrorist groups that terrorize Pakistan. The first group is probably the most notable due to their former leader, Osama bin Laden. Al Qaeda has been around for about 18 years and has a few hundred followers. Afghanistan oriented is the next terrorist group, believed to operate out of Balochistan with about 31,000 militants. The next is India and Kashmir oriented, which was also ran by bin Laden at one point and currently has a few hundred followers. Fourth is Sectarian, which at one point was associated with Al Qaeda and has broke off into a group of about 4,500 activists. They operate in federally administered tribal areas as well as in Balochistan and Punjab. Last is domestically oriented. They are located in the northwestern Makland and Swat districts of Khyber province. They have a few hundred followers. The reason I want to start out describing a few of the terrorist organizations that exist in Pakistan is to let you know just how many terrorists operate in Pakistan. Just with the five I've described above, there are at least 40,000. Two of the organizations I described above are groups that have broken off from Al Qaeda. What happens is leaders disagree with each other on certain terrorist actions that should take place, and instead of arguing back and forth, they just plan their own idea and recruit others that will help them. Most of the time, these leaders that break off are more radical and therefore start more radical groups. The way that these groups survive and grow, oddly enough, is by having a good financial plan. These definitely aren't your financial plans you'd find talking to an advisor at a nearby bank, although they are well thought out. The way these guys get money is through a wide range of different organized crimes. Some of these include kidnapping for ransom, sex trafficking, and drug trafficking, as well as bank robberies. They use these funds to carry out regular day-to-day operations, just like a normal business would. They also use their money to recruit and pay members of the group. One of the reasons these terrorist groups are growing is because of their ability to pay their employees so well. One of the reasons for the rise in terrorist groups in Pakistan is due to the government support of militant groups. Pakistan's government has long supported Afghanistan's Taliban by supplying them with weapons, military, and intelligence aid. Pakistan's only political ally is the Afghan Taliban, which they want to rise in power and take control of the government. They fear by not supporting them, they will be on the losing side of that battle if the Afghan Taliban do take over. As a side note, the U.S. has been supporting Pakistan since 2001, giving them weapons and money to help with stopping terrorist groups. The Trump administration has suspended military aid because of their lack in cooperation and constant want to support the Taliban and other militant groups. Another reason for the rise in terrorist organizations is especially due to an increase in violence since 2007, which is because of unwanted political, military, and tribal leaders. Many of the attacks that have happened have been to those three groups, as mentioned above, as well as schools and Shia. To illuminate just how much destruction the rise of rebellion has caused, in 2002 to 2003 combined, there was only 3 suicide bombings. In 2009, there were 76 attacks, and in 2013, there was 37 by the beginning of October. Some experts say the rise in suicide bombings has been due to the influence of Al Qaeda. I guess you could say they have figured out a more efficient way of doing things. With suicide bombings, it's easy for the person committing suicide to make a bomb and put it in a bag of some kind. In this way, it's hard to detect and takes no setup. With this more efficient way of committing terrorist acts, by October of 2013, 2,745 citizens have been killed, along with 601 security forces. The question is, why doesn't Pakistan just take out all the terrorists, especially since they know where most of them are located? The graph shows Pakistan's airstrikes by year associated with the civilian militants and unknown numbers of different groups dying due to airstrikes. Pakistan does try to take out the terrorists, but of late they have been getting ridiculed by human rights observers for killing too many civilians in their drone bombings. As you can see, in 2006, they only killed civilians with their drone bombings. As you can see, terrorism is on the rise in Pakistan due to militants not liking the way someone does something. The lack of laws and morals, as well as the corruption in Pakistan, has created this insane way of thinking.